What is going on, YouTube? I'm back, and in this video I want to share with you guys what I'm thinking about in terms of the gameplay. And it's just so funny how some people think that this stuff just is so easy to do, and it's not. And I can only imagine, and that's why I didn't choose to go the route of a 3D AAA title for my football game, because it's ridiculous how much work it takes and how much math and physics go into and logic and AI and gameplay engine related items to be able to really create gameplay, period. Okay, so up to now I've been working on formations, getting the sprites in the game, the foundation of the game, breaking it into phases. So you have a phase manager that has your coin toss phase, your kickoff phase, you have the pre-snap, post-snap, in-play phases. So everything's broken out into different sections that I call a phase. Okay, and then you have your behaviors. So every player has a different behavior, right? So like a QB might have a certain behavior that he's looking for receivers, that's his play, or he's handing it off to the running back. If you're a running back, if you're a ball carrier, you have a certain behavior, right? Everybody has a different set of AI. If you're a defender, your behavior changes. So you have behaviors, and then once you're inside of the behavior, you have what we call states, right? So if I'm in the QB behavior and I choose to throw to someone, then I turn into a state which is QB throw, right? So the ball gets thrown. So right now I'm working on the kickoff and the kick return. So I have all of the players, and I'll show you that in the next video. I have all of the players running down towards the ball. So the kickoff team, they kick the ball. I don't have an animation for the actual ball being, spinning in the air and going, end to end and flipping upside down. I don't have that animation yet, but that's one I'm going to get. That's easy to get. But it'll look more authentic once I get that in there. But I have the ball basically being kicked to the kick returner, and then I have the AI running for a touchdown. I don't have the kick return team blocking yet, but I have the kickoff team chasing the ball carrier. So, you just have a number of different players running after the guy with the ball. And it looks very similar to a zombie attack. And like I said, the kickoff team, they're not blocking right now. So it looks funny. But the AI and the gameplay is actually being constructed, and it's being built. And it's starting to look like a real game, which is exciting, right? It's cool. But then it also makes me think, okay, how much work goes into blocking? Let's just think about blocking. Okay, if you're going to set a behavior for blocking, what does that mean? That means that for a kickoff return, the blocker has to run back a little bit, probably, back to where, if you're kicking, if you're running back left or you're running at center or right, depending on where you're returning the ball, which direction you're returning the ball from, you have to block a certain direction. So I need to get the blockers running down towards the ball carrier. And then also, once they get to a certain point, then they need to turn around and find someone to block. So if you break down the behavior into very small steps, and you think about it that way, it doesn't seem that much of a feat to do, but it's still, you don't want it to look very robotic either. So I need the blockers to come down to a certain point, turn around, and then basically find a kickoff team player and basically say, okay, you know what? I'm going to block this guy. And then try to block him or try to not block him. If the guy falls down, maybe you move to the next, player you block. Or if the ball carrier is behind you and you need to keep running forward, so you want to come down, right? Let's say this is right here. This is the kick returner. The ball's getting kicked to the kick returner. the blocker needs to come down to the kick returner, then needs to turn around and look for a defender. But as the runner runs, the blocker kind of needs to run with him. So that's what I'm working on next. I'm going to try to get some work in this weekend, although, it's family time too. But that's kind of where I'm at. And then once I get the blocking fixed or working, then I'm planning on getting the kickoff team to be able to maybe have some more like random or strategic patterns that they do to go to the player, to the ball carrier. Because right now what they do, they're all here, they all just swarm right to him. And what you probably want to do is have them go like on the outside. Some people go outside, some people go inside, kind of do like some kind of a little bit of wiggle through to try to get it around the blockers. So there's some logic to do there, and that's where I'm at with the game. I'm so close to showing you at least that gameplay. And I already have the offensive formations figured out and the defensive formations. So what I'm planning on doing is having the kickoff this week at some point. Might be tomorrow, might be a week, I don't know. I'm planning to have the kickoff figured out, and then whenever the player gets tackled, then the ball's down and we have a line of scrimmage, and then we go into offensive defensive formations. And hopefully I can get that done this week. I might even be able to get a hike in, and maybe a player running a route, throwing to the route, having the defenders, chase that player for a touchdown. I can probably, shoot for that as well. But this video is to share with you where I'm at, but also give you guys an understanding of what it really takes to build this stuff. And, being an indie developer means you do everything by yourself. You hire people to help you when you need help. And I'm hiring, artists to do the art for me because I'm no artist. My art looks very amateurish, and I don't have time to do everything. And then I have a developer who's on and off, who's helping me. So the game's progressing. I'm excited with where we're going. There's a lot of work to do, and we're taking it 1 week at a time. So I know you guys want to see gameplay. I know you want to see actual videos of the game, and I'm going to be showing you that in my other series. But this series here is more just to kind of share what's on my mind, what's happening from a business perspective, from a coding perspective, and not always show you. I don't always have video to show you of the game. It takes a long time to do stuff. I've been working on the kickoff probably for a good 2 weeks, and it's not simple, especially for somebody who's still learning how to use GameMaker Studio. And this is my first game. So I have high expectations. I'm a perfectionist. I want things to look the right way. I want things to feel the right way. And this game is going to get completed, and it's going to be, I'm going to try my best to make it successful. And for all the guys that are trying to build a AAA title, I don't envy you guys at all. I don't envy any of you guys. And, I'll be doing a video at some point to share my thoughts on the indie scene and the guys that are out there that are trying to make games, because, I personally believe they're biting off more than they can chew. The IMV guys, I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to collect money. Somehow they have their hands in professional, players' pockets, and, I commend them for getting that, getting into those, those relationships. But at the same time, I don't know. I do think that, now I guess I'll get into it a little bit. I do think that their $1 million goal in their Kickstarter was actually pretty accurate for what they'll need to build that kind of a title. So I give them credit for that. What I don't really enjoy or appreciate is the fact that there are people out there who want a college football game, and they're looking at these guys like they're going to build something, and as of right now, they don't have the funding. They don't have one line of code written from what I can see. But they're giving people false hope, I feel, at least maybe premature hope that this game is being built. And I'm not saying that they're lying or doing anything, mischievous, but all I'm saying is that if you've never touched a game and you've never coded a game and you really don't know what it takes, you can throw money at this stuff. I totally get it. And if their funding comes through and they're getting the money they need to get to build this game, then great. They can hopefully hire the right people who know what they're doing, and they can get the game completed. But that's a lot to shoot for when you don't have the experience. And I hope and I wish the best for all these guys. But I just, from first-hand use, which is why I mentioned this now. I'm doing this firsthand, okay? I've been programming for the last 20 years of my life for business applications. I know what it takes. I'm very, very intimately experienced when it comes to coding. I've never built a game before. I've built prototypes, yeah. I've never built a full-fledged game. But I've worked for EA. I've been working on, as a hobby, games. I've done the modding editors that I did for All Pro Football, Backbreaker, ESPN 2K4, NFL Fever. So I have a lot of experience in many different areas, and I even think that this is crazy, ridiculous amount of work to get this stuff done for a 2D sprite game. I'm just saying. And to get a AAA title done, there's a reason why we haven't seen any gameplay from Cal Anderson. And it's nothing against him, nothing against his developers, but it's a very, very difficult task to accomplish. And he will even tell you that if he gets on. I hope that he sees it or somebody tells him, but he can totally vouch for what I'm saying. And I know for a fact what he's trying to do is light years ahead of what I'm trying to do, and it's already crazy difficulty with what I'm trying to do. So then you look at the guys that built the Canadian football game. Those guys, they actually put a product on Xbox, which is pretty admirable, But from what I've seen, I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, the game's not very good. From what I've seen, I don't think it's that great. But I could be, I could be wrong, but it looks like it should look, For a title like that, you're shooting way too high, in my opinion. So, and then you got Access Football, same thing with those guys. I mean, they're doing a game that takes a lot of skill and a lot of resources, and eventually they'll probably get there, but it's going to take a long time. And I don't have that much time. So what I'm building is totally different. It's not competing with Madden, not competing with those other games. It's on a level of scope that I think is still very aggressive, very it's a very high level of difficulty. It's not a little golf game or a little strategy game. It's a football game, and everything that they have to do on a AAA title standpoint, I have to do dumbed down to a 2D football game. But I still have to worry about 3D physics. I have to worry about the ball being in the air and dropping down and bouncing around. I have to worry about a guy getting tackled and hit a certain way. I have to take into account momentum and gravity. So it's a 3D model inside of a 2D, behind the scenes it's a 2D game, but it's a 3D, world. Or simulated 3D world, I guess I should say. So I'm worrying about a lot of the things that they have to worry about, but it's still not nearly as complex. There are complexities with what I am doing, though, which is when you're working with sprite art, every single animation that you want to show needs an animation from a sprite, and it needs an artist to create that. So with a 3D game, you have a model, you have a rigged up 3D model, and you can put a ragdoll physics, what do you call it? whatever you call it, you put ragdoll physics onto that, a property onto that object, that player object, and the game engine alone, if you hit him, like in Backbreaker, he'll fall down and he'll act, he'll move around and he'll have different animations because it's all based on a rigged skeletal 3D player. So that is easier to deal with than a 2D sprite player where every single bit, if I want an arm to go this way, I have to create a sprite for that. You're not just tying it to some 3D model that just moves around dynamically. So from that perspective, my game is more difficult. But a lot of the rules, a lot of the formations and everything, those are things that have to be done very similarly to those other AAA title games. Franchise mode, all the stats, all that stuff is very, very much the same. And I can totally see myself taking this game and building on it to maybe go AAA if this thing works out and it becomes successful, because I'll have a lot of the groundwork done and I'll have to shift a lot of that code over, but it is transferable, at least from a logical standpoint. So anyway, so I've gone on longer than I probably wanted to, so if you're still watching the video, either you have too much time on your hands, or you're really interested in this product, or you just hit play and let it run. I don't know. But in any case, I really appreciate you guys watching. I love the fact that the channel's growing and you guys are supporting this, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys that are watching this channel. I can't wait for this game to become something that we can actually touch and play, and I'm just excited about it. But I'm not going to bite off more than I can chew, and I'm not going to give anyone a release date or any high expectations that are false. So what you see is what you get. Hope you enjoy this series. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There will be more. We have our shows on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Don't forget about that. Sim Sports Real Talk. And I'll catch you guys next time. Gonna go back to the grind. Peace.